So I was attracted to destruction of land within the Bakken oil fields. The reason I was attracted to this community issue was because I have lived in and traveled through the Bakken oil fields my entire life. And I saw the way that they were changed, that the community was changed so drastically once the oil boom hit, and the way that it was so negatively impacted. And I really felt the need to inform people that the Bakken oil field did not just bring in good, it also brought in a lot of bad to the people who have lived up there for generations before the oil boom hit. And in doing so, I hope that people would understand a little bit more about what has been actually going on up there.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action. Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Right. So now the group project changed the topic of the speech a little bit. So we focus more on waste and agriculture. And we said for our call to action in two different parts. The first part was just what you can do yourself. And this ranged from not throwing away produce that maybe doesn't look as nice as it could, but is still perfectly healthy to eat. And also not necessarily going by expiration dates, because those are often a little bit off and you have a few more days as you could eat that food. Now the second part we used was on more broad agricultural scale, and this went from making sure not to like overuse and abuse land and not overuse water, because we can sometimes overuse water and land, and then that can cause not as much production for our agricultural systems.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
They would probably say I'm very organized. The reason they would say this is because I made sure that all of the parts of our speech were properly organized to specific people, so that way we weren't clashing on ideas. This can simply mean making sure we broke apart our introduction, who did the call to action, who did the thesis restatement, stuff like that. And that was very important because that way we weren't stepping on each other's toes for certain things.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
The most challenging thing I would say working with my team was making sure everyone's ideas were presented as equally as everyone else's. So some of the members of my group like to talk a little bit more than the other members. So I felt like some people's opinions were kind of being overshadowed compared to other people's views, because one person was a little bit more comfortable with those views. So I'd say the hardest thing was just that, like, making sure we were all balanced in between it, and one viewpoint wasn't really overriding the other one, so it felt like we were doing a fair and equal job throughout the speech.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
Right, the most useful thing that I found from Com 110 was just making sure to remember to stay relaxed and not start worrying about the little mistakes that I make in my speech, because that is just to be expected when you make a speech. You're never going to do it perfect, no matter how good you are. You will always make a mistake, and just to accept those mistakes and move on.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. We'll probably be in touch with you in the next few weeks or so. Take care.
Sounds great. Thank you.